Hi.
That's it?
Yeah. Welcome. Yeah, that's it. That's the end. That's the end of the episode.
Welcome back
20.
to
Episode 20.
episode 20 of the Empty Heads podcast.
Remote. Again.
What do we call our fans?
Headers.
Whenever you start laughing, your mic just cuts completely out.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's fine. That won't happen in the recording, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, what do we call our fans?
Head givers?
No. Big brainers, because we're the empty heads. They're the ones that...
No.
No?
No.
No. Okay. So how you been? How's your week?
It's all right. Just, stuff. Just stuff. So a lot of a big bowl of stuff.
Big bowl of stuff. Work, school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, school is it's actually not that bad.
In times such as these, daily minutia of life starts to really suck.
Yeah, every day just doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been what, 6-7 months of this now.
Mhm.
I'm getting tired of it.
Yeah, it is frustrating having to
Especially when COVID isn't even real, not to get political.
yeah, not to get political, but no, yeah, it definitely doesn't exist. Fake news. Don't get that vaccine, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
It'll give you autisms.
yeah, you and your kids
Yeah.
and your dog.
Gordo, I think he's got the autism. Fargo season 1.
He pees in a jar. He keeps it in his closet. Oh yeah, that's weird. I gotta watch season 4, but I have to finish other shows I'm watching first.
Yeah, me too. I finished watching, I don't think I mentioned, maybe I did mention this last week, but What We Do in the Shadows. Only 2 seasons of that show so far, because it only started like a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like 10 episode seasons, so I finished that. It's not really finished yet, but finished that. Very funny. Definitely worth watching. Recommend to any comedy fans of comedy out there.
Maybe I'll check that out. I started watching. Wait, no, I haven't started watching anything. Never mind. I've just been watching more YouTube videos because, like, for a long time, like, I just kind of stopped watching YouTube videos, like everyone kind of did. But
Yeah.
recently, I've just been getting back into finding new YouTubers to watch. And
I used to watch a lot of YouTube, but lately I only tune in if I find something that I like on like my homepage.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Or I'm only really looking for like specific creators, like upload schedules at this point.
Yeah. Whenever Donkey posts something, I'm obviously on top of that immediately.
Yeah, and then like the only other creator I really keep up with is Mr. Sunday Movies, just because they're pretty funny.
Yeah, them too,
very
yeah.
entertaining.
Good content coming from
yeah.
them, and good like movie news. They're always on top of their.
Yeah, good podcast.
I actually haven't listened to their podcast.
You should. It's very good.
Yeah, I don't know. I never thought of it.
You never thought of it, huh?
No, all I listen to is like, I don't even listen to Conan that much anymore, just because like I haven't really been interested in some of the guests, but I haven't really checked.
I'm probably gonna binge that at some point, but right now, like, I mostly listen to Bill Simmons at this point. But it's sort of like it's a cycle of anything, you know. I just cycle through shit.
Yeah, me too. It's just, you know, every
I'm
once in
never-
a while I get
I'm
onto
never, like-
something, stick to it.
I'm never like listening to multiple things at once.
Mhm.
Usually,
It's too
usually
hard
it's
to
like-
sometimes.
it's not even that. It's more like it's just more like just sort of latching onto something. Like I don't have trouble listening to multiple things, but it's more like I don't really want to listen to anything else right now.
Right, yeah, I get that. I've just been listening to the only podcast that I listen to like every time they drop is the Super Mega podcast, and then some other YouTubers, the Triforce podcast, Sips, Pyrian Flags, you know those guys.
Yeah.
But those are like the only ones I like really listen to all the time. Conan is occasionally, and I finished Slow Burn, the one about David Duke, so there's nothing else to listen to. But you know, most of my time is school now, since it's picking up speed.
Yeah, for me right now, it's school, work, and then I just started playing Persona 4, which came out on Steam semi-recently. And not really. It just came out this year. But it's a very good game. It's a classic for a lot of people. Highly recommend. I'm not a big fan of anime in general, but like it leans into the anime style and whatnot. That's what it is, and it's enjoyable.
Yeah, I remember you were talking to Jack about it, our friend Jack,
Yeah,
because he was always telling us that we should play it. So I'm surprised that someone actually got it and ended up enjoying it.
yeah. No, I mean, I believed it. You know, when Jack said it, like it's good, but
No, it's not that I didn't believe it was good. I just never thought because Jack is very different in his taste compared to the rest of us. So I didn't think,
oh yeah,
You know.
definitely.
but I'm glad you're enjoying it. How far in it? How far? Yeah.
I think I'm like 15, 14 hours, something like that.
Oh yeah, that's nice. How long is the game?
I've heard people say like they didn't finish it until like 90 hours.
Jeez, what? That's good. You got
And I
a
know
whole bunch
that
of gameplay.
Persona 5 is like over 100. So yeah.
That's a PlayStation exclusive, though.
Yeah, well, I guess not really since 4 is on but 5 is a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah. Are you gonna get it for your PS4 once you beat?
Oh yeah, as soon as I'm done with Golden, Persona 4 Golden, like I'm definitely playing. I'm definitely picking up 5 and playing it.
No.
Also, 5 is just like a beautiful game. If you've seen gameplay of it, it's like definitely one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
It does look really good. Yeah, I've seen some of it. Because when they released Joker for Smash, I was like, "What the hell is a Persona 5?" So I looked into it, and it looked like a good game.
Yeah, they like every like dungeon that they put in the game because it's like not really like a dungeon crawler, but dungeons are a part of it.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's like an RPG, and it just looks so interesting and very looks very pleasing on the eyes.
I haven't really been playing anything new other than like Crusader Kings and occasionally Counter-Strike again. But they released a new DLC for Doom Eternal, which I want to play because apparently it's pretty good. And I think I think it's like I think the story is like there's like the gods of the universe or whatever, and you have to go as the Doom guy and like fucking clean them up. It's kind of like God of War, but probably Doom as opposed to you shoot them up with your guns as opposed to using your big axe or whatever the fuck Kratos uses.
Yeah, he uses an axe.
In the new one, in the other one, he uses those golden the swords, right, with the chains.
The two, like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are sick. But yeah,
the originals when I was younger, but that's about it.
there was like a small teaser around E3 for
The new one, right?
It was like it's like a title card thing. I think I think it's gonna be called Ragnarok, but I could be wrong.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then tie right into the MCU.
Yeah.
Even though Ragnarok's already a Norse mythology thing.
So even though this is old news, I thought we could talk about Spider-Man 3. And
oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up. The freaking the multiverse.
Yeah, so friend of the show Simon and I were talking yesterday when we were on the way to hang out at the park.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how awesome it would be for a lot of old characters to return because they could literally do whatever they want. I mean, there's no rules to like a multiverse sort of thing. As much as people want there to be.
Well, didn't they already announce that Jamie Foxx was going to be playing
Yeah, and then there was like, I don't know if it's quite false yet, but like reports that Maguire and Garfield had signed on to return as Spider-Man. And then Sony was like, no, that's not true. But who knows if they're just trying to, play the cards close to the chest and say that and then have it be revealed in the trailer or whatever, just for, more publicity that way.
Yeah, that would make sense if that's what they're going for.
But yeah, we were just like talking about like predicting what we thought would go down in the movie. And I was thinking of, I mean, there's a lot of directions they could go. I mean, you could bring back, Defoe as Green Goblin. They're obviously bringing back Electro, and I think
they're either James Franco as a new Goblin. Is it James Franco?
I don't know if James Franco would want to do that, but
no, I don't think so.
But it's like either Spider-Man 3 is gonna be a Sinister Six movie, or they're gonna directly lead you into Sinister Six for Spider-Man 4. Is what I think is what's gonna go down.
That makes sense.
Because a lot of people want 3 to be Kraven the Hunter, and they've already set up Scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking if they're bringing back Jamie Foxx, they're probably going to be setting up a Sinister Six, or they might even appear in 3. So there's a lot to be excited about. Obviously, the 2 returning to their role. Like, a lot of people sort of disregard Garfield. A lot of people loved Maguire, but they were both very good in it. I think a lot of people don't give Garfield enough credit. But yeah.
Yeah, no, Andrew Garfield, like, he did a great job, but I mean, it's just
the movies just weren't that good. I mean, the first one is, but the second one is obviously trash.
Yeah. We can't really blame him for that.
No, you can't. I'd blame Sony more than anything.
Just trying to get it out there and kind of.
I think it was a lot of studio interference too, from what I know, but maybe not. I don't.
Oh, I mean, I don't know much about the production of those movies, but I guess so. I mean, that sounds like a standard thing for Sony.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What do you think is going to happen?
I think you're right that it's either going to be Sinister Six or lead into Sinister Six, but Marvel has confirmed that Doctor Strange is going to be a huge part of it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I forgot to mention that.
So, and also, I mean, Multiverse of Madness is also going to happen, which is going to introduce the multiverse into the MCU. So, like, they're definitely going to, link those two. So, whatever multiverse stuff comes out of it, it's definitely going to have to eventually culminate into the Sinister Six being, like, the guys that Spider-Man and whoever else have to defeat.
Yeah. And I think one way or another, Doctor Strange is going to be the bridge into introducing things like the X-Men. If he's going to be in 3 and he's playing a role in it and he's having his own multiverse movie, then definitely can count on there being some sort of hint at a Spider-Verse, or the movie's going to be Spider-Verse.
Right, yeah.
So,
good stuff. It's exciting news.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing, friend of the show Simon had said is he expects that Tobey Maguire will play the Jake Johnson Peter Parker role from Into the Spider-Verse for Miles Morales in Tom Holland's universe,
Yeah, I've
the
heard that
MCU.
as well.
I think that would work perfectly, and I hope they do that.
Yeah, I think that would work out the best out of the roles. Tobey Maguire is the older, more experienced one, and like it would make sense for him to be the mentor. Um, yeah, I wonder how that would play out though. Doesn't Tobey Maguire like? Isn't he known for being like hard to work with though? Garrett.
Sorry about that. Somebody
Oh,
walked in.
God.
Yeah, that was totally a thing. He was apparently very hard to work with, unpleasant with people on the set. And I remember there's a story that Joe Manganiello, who played Flash Thompson, had said that one of the people on set paid him to actually punch Tobey Maguire in that scene where they had the confrontation in like the hallway and everybody surrounding them. You remember that from Spider-Man 1?
Yeah. That actually.
That was an actual story, so yeah.
Huh. Wow.
And then obviously there was the whole thing of him getting recast in Spider-Man 2. I think maybe, was it because he wanted more money? I don't know. But there's a whole thing of that maybe they would have recast Tobey Maguire with Jake Gyllenhaal for Spider-Man 2. So.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. I could totally see that happening with the whole Miles Morales thing. I'm very excited for Phase 4, mostly because it hasn't happened yet, and the door is wide open for anything to happen, you know?
Right.
They
Yeah.
could sort of have free reign, especially with the Fox purchase, to bring in all these characters. And, I mean, more than anything, just because of the previous attachment to the character, I'd say I'm more excited about Spider-Man than anything else in the MCU. I don't know about you. Like, I
Yeah.
guess second to that would be either the Guardians or Thor.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I mean, Doctor Strange is one of my favorite characters, so I am excited for the Doctor Strange movie.
oh yeah, definitely.
But I think the Spider-Man, as of right now, the new Spider-Man has like the most potential of being like the most out there, and like the newest things in the universe in the MCU are added through the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, and it always seems like the Spider-Man movies are always taken in the most interesting directions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you get movies like Spider-Verse and Far From Home and Homecoming are easily in the top 10 of MCU films for me. I don't know about you.
No, I'd agree.
But and then obviously the Raimi trilogy is like iconic. It's great. I mean, a lot of people don't like 3, but I love 3. That's one. If I choose to watch any of the Raimi trilogy, it's always going to be 3.
Really? It's always 2 for me. But
Wait,
that's
really?
like, yeah. I mean, 2 is the generic one. Like
I love 3 for the memes, and
that's the thing. Three's good for the memes. 2 is good for like,
it's not only that though. I actually like it as a movie. I think it's an actually good movie.
It's a good movie, but it's not the best one of the Raimi trilogy.
Oh, definitely not. Because it was mostly because Venom was like shoehorned into it, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But I think with Raimi directing Multiverse of Madness, there's a lot that could be done, especially with him as director.
Mm-hmm.
So
he would know best how to incorporate his own characters into the MCU.
Yeah, of course, definitely. I guess in other news, there is a new picture of Tom Holland, also Spider-Man,
as Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're almost finished filming with it. I don't know what to feel about it, because Wahlberg is playing Sully. It feels very odd casting.
Yeah.
I like Holland as Drake, but yeah, I don't know about Wahlberg.
Come on. He's great.
No, I love Wahlberg, but I don't know if that's the casting you'd want. Like,
That's true.
yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't see it. I feel like he's still too young too, even though it's supposed to. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a younger Drake. Like, I still feel like Wahlberg is still a little too young to be this older mentor figure. I just don't see it, especially after. I mean, last week we watched The Last Night.
That movie was so fucking bad. It made
It's
me
bad,
want to
yeah.
throw up.
But like Wahlberg's shtick in movies these days, you can see him as Cade Yeager. It's a lot like that, where he's just like,
oh, what? Like he just yells.
yeah, it's the last like really good movie he made was. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I haven't.
But yeah, it's weird. It's like lately, it's a weird thing with him.
I think he'll get back on his stride.
Well, I hope he's really good in it.
Yeah, because he has like he does have the potential to do a good performance. He's not like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he got nominated for an Oscar in The Departed. He's
Yeah.
been in a lot of great movies like Boogie Nights and whatnot. He's a great actor. But it's just like the past 5 years of his filmography is very like, it's like Transformers and like a lot of weird stuff, a lot of like bad action movies.
Yeah,
Spencer Confidential, that sort of thing.
He's been catching the duds as of late.
Yeah, but he's probably making a lot of money though, so I don't think it matters to him. But
no, yeah, definitely not. We also tried. Well, we didn't try. As we were waiting for everyone to come so we could watch Transformers. Garrett and I were watching Hubie Halloween, Adam Sandler's shitty movie. Hubie, yeah. And we watched like the first 5 minutes and it was just like. It was like we knew it was gonna be the worst thing ever.
The only thing that could have kept me in was the fact that Ray Liotta showed up on screen. But
that's true, yeah.
I don't want to watch this movie, so.
And the whole time Adam Sandler kept like fucking the voice. His voice was so.
Oh yeah, within the
weird.
first 5 minutes, he's already doing like a voice bit, and it's stupid.
Apparently, that's how he sounds the whole movie.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to watch the whole thing if that's the voice he was doing.
A good time.
Actually, this is a good week for news, to be honest, because there's another thing. Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, Marvel's new MCU movie, wrapped up filming.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. When did that get announced?
I saw that either today or yesterday. But yeah, I'm not familiar with that character.
No, me neither. But I'm excited for a new character to be introduced.
Yeah, me too. And the actor, I'm blanking on his name, is a relative unknown, which makes me even more excited.
Right. Let's look it up. Since we have.
And then
the 10 rings.
Yeah, Shang-Chi. Another thing about that too, though, is the fact that there's probably going to be the real Mandarin. I don't know if you've seen that Marvel, like, I forget what they were called.
He's a Chinese Canadian. Oh, I thought he was a Hong Kong actor. That's cool. What are you talking about?
I don't know if you know this, but in the MCU, the Mandarin who's supposed to in Iron Man 3 was played by
yeah, he was a fake Mandarin. The real Mandarin.
He wasn't the real Mandarin.
Yeah,
and there was a short film that Marvel had put out. I think they're called Marvel One Takes. I'm gonna look this up right now.
Oh yeah, I have seen those.
Marvel One Shot. All Hail the King.
Yeah.
Watch that if you've seen that, viewers. But it's basically showing like Ben Kingsley's character who was acting as the Mandarin, which was like I thought that was a great part of the movie. The fact that they chose him to be like an actor instead of being the Mandarin. I thought that was really clever. I know a lot of people didn't like that, but that's just my take on it. But the whole thing is him in prison, and it ends up being that the Mandarin was not the Mandarin from Iron Man 3, but the real Mandarin was still alive. And given that the movie is called Legend of the Ten Rings, which the Ten Rings are a Mandarin thing, is that he's probably the main villain. So that's really exciting, especially seeing as we don't know who is playing the Mandarin.
Right. Yeah. That.
So
That's definitely. And well, the thing is that the Ten Rings and the Mandarin are usually Iron Man villains. So I wonder if that's
they
somehow
might
gonna
have
play
some
into it.
Stark stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Some,
That's exciting. That movie slated for what? I guess 2022, late 2021.
I don't know if they wrapped up filming. It's probably late 2021. I think they've been switching around like release dates.
Right, because they can't release movies.
Yeah, no, like people have like they're like I think what am I thinking? They've pushed back obviously the release dates. Like Black Widow originally took the Eternal spot, which would have come out like next month, but it's not coming. It's going to come out next year instead. And I don't know if they swapped Eternals and Shang-Chi, but I'm pretty sure there was movie release dates that were swapped. And since it finished filming, I imagine we could see it sooner if quarantine and COVID
Disappear.
not disappears, but it slowly comes to its end, hopefully.
Yeah.
That could be a thing. So
That's exciting. Once we could actually go back into movie theaters. But like, drive-ins are still a thing. It's just not the same. I prefer regular movie.
Well, no,
theater
I'd
over
want to
drive-in.
go to a drive-in, but to see a movie like Tenet, I want the surround sound. I don't want my car audio,
Yeah, Tenet needs the crisp audio of like a good movie theater. You can't go to you have to go to like a pretty good movie theater.
We'd have to drive to Riverside. I was looking at it to go see it.
Really?
Yeah.
Not what kind of theater is it?
I forgot I forgot. It was at the Tyler Mall, but I forget.
We should do that.
Maybe.
What else?
Borat subsequent movie film came out yesterday.
I need to watch that. We need to watch that.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone's raving about it. I mean, it's Borat.
Yeah,
It's
it's Borat. Yeah,
Sacha Baron Cohen. He knows.
he's
what
a genius.
Doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no Zohan though.
No, stop! Don't say that.
Yesterday, me, Garrett, and our friends were hanging out, and I pulled up, and for whatever reason, they were just talking about "Don't mess with the Zohan," which, for those of you who don't know what that is,
It's an Adam
Good.
Sandler film.
I'm like, don't. That's all you need to know because it's the worst thing ever. But
I've never seen it.
you don't want to watch that.
No, I don't.
You really don't. It's. I've watched it once, and I was like, okay, never again. But yeah, I've been learning some pretty interesting things in my history class, and because it's a history class about the history of terrorism, so I'm learning a lot about like European revolutionaries, and like revolutionary writers.
Is that getting picked up?
Is what getting picked
There's
up?
people yelling. So
No, I
wonder
didn't
if it's
hear
good.
anyone.
Okay, good.
But if it is, that's fine. Anyways, so I was learning about this one German American like revolutionary writer. His name was John Most, and I had to read like an excerpt from his book. And his book, the full title of the book is "The Science of Revolutionary Warfare: A Little Handbook of Instruction in the Use and Preparation of Nitroglycerin, Dynamite, Gun Cotton, Fulminating Mercury, Bombs, Fuses, Poisons, not potions, etc., and etc." Like,
So you're on a list now, right?
probably, yeah. Our professor is having us read so many things from like the 19th century of like revolutionaries, and they would just literally publish like, oh, here's a guide on how to make bombs and how to make this poison to mail it out to politicians, and like, sure, they were getting arrested and stuff for doing that, but they were just off the hook a few months later. You know what I mean? And it's like, that would not happen now. Someone published like something like that nowadays, they'd be arrested and probably just die in prison.
Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous how lax governments were. because they just sort of assumed like, oh, we'll maintain power no matter what, so it doesn't really matter.
Speaking of history class, I'm taking a history class right now, and the most recent lectures were about the Roman Empire or the fall of the Roman Republic and the rise of the Roman Empire, sort of the Roman Revolution.
Right.
And I'm not going to get into it. Most people should have learned about this in like elementary school, or middle school, but it just made me really want to watch Gladiator.
Yeah, it's
a great movie. And yeah, it's funny how things like that can do that. But yeah, history's very interesting. The lectures have certainly rekindled my love for Roman history, just because it's a very interesting time period and a very interesting sort of people and group to look at, just because they essentially had it like figured out with the Republic of like how to be a modern civilization, but not modern in the sense of like technology like us, but
socially
where people like not quite socially. I mean, only male citizens participated in anything, women weren't allowed
but I
to
mean
do
like
anything.
they had,
but in the
Senate.
sense of being a citizen, sort of just like living and working day to day, doing a job and shit like that, like almost modern. Yeah, and then the fact that they conquered the biggest empire known to man up until that point, and it was just huge, and they managed to hold on to that for like hundreds of years, which is crazy.
Yeah, I think the Roman Empire is the third largest empire ever.
Yeah. And very interesting stuff about how, Caesar seized power and stuff like that, which was stuff I didn't know about before. I just knew that he seized power. But yeah.
Right, yeah. It's so interesting. That's the thing. I've been watching a whole lot of like YouTube videos, like historical YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And actually, never mind. The Roman Empire is pretty far down the list of largest empires, but I guess
is it really
in Europe? Yeah, it's according to Wikipedia, the Roman Empire at its height had 3.71% of the world, and of course, the largest empire ever was the British Empire, which is 26.35%. And then the second, the Mongols, and of course, the Russians, and then the Qing, and then the Spanish, and then the French. And then the Abbasids and the Umayyads. Wow.
I think even though the British Empire was the largest,
the Roman Empire was the largest, was continuous.
Yeah, and I think it's the most impressive given the time and the fact that they held on for it as long as they did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's see, the age of imperialism, like, the British Empire, by the 20th century was pretty much starting to go away.
Yeah, it reached its peak in 1920, technically, but right after that, it reached its peak and then immediately started declining, like rapidly.
Yeah, and then you look at the Roman Empire and,
it took them hundreds of years.
The Roman Republic conquered the Mediterranean. They held the Mediterranean for like hundreds of years, and then once the empire came in and it became an empire, they expanded that even further into like, the like northern Europe and a little bit further east.
Right, yeah.
It's just crazy. I mean, especially given the time. And you look at the Mongol Empire, that lasted like a very short time.
Yeah, although it was huge and it was responsible for the destruction and like total change of the world, and like collapse.
It was very
empires.
short-lived.
It was very short-lived. So the Roman Empire they had irrigation systems. They had plumbing. They had like gas powered things.
If you look at them persisting through the problems that they had, with barbarian invasions and surviving, the world is probably maybe a lot more technologically advanced.
Yeah.
because following, you know, the fall of Rome, quickly the modern, or no, the European world, which sadly in history is like the center of the world,
Yeah.
Falls into a dark age, and after that, like, for the Middle Ages up until the Renaissance, from like 400 on to the Renaissance, for like, I don't know, 800 years or so, technology is just like not advancing, and religion sort of takes a stranglehold on the European continent. So it's just very interesting.
Yeah, shit, I totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, I've been, the Roman Empire. One thing that always interests me is that the Romans and the Greeks had like this, they had Greek fire. You've heard of that,
Yeah.
where it's like the flamethrower stuff, and like they never really figured out what it was and how to recreate it. And also, apparently, Roman cement is significantly better than the cement we have now.
I believe it.
And it's just like, how did they figure that out with like nothing we have now? Like, it was even before, anything. It's just like the technology they didn't have, and somehow they managed to do shit like that. It's ridiculously impressive.
Yeah. Definitely. The ups and downs of the ancient world are just a crazy thing to fathom. Because you look at the fact that these massive powers were like on the upswing, super technologically advanced, and then immediately it's just gone for like hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And then another power does it again, and then it's gone. And then finally, as we get closer and closer into what's the modern age, like 1800s, 1700s, where there's people stay in place and become sort of civilized, and it finally sets in,
Right, yeah.
Although with stuff like, it's not quite the same, but like the collapse of the Soviet Union is something you could look at as similar to the fall of an empire, but Russia still exists. It's not like it's been split up into a bunch of different like tribes.
Yeah, no, it's still one. It's still mostly together.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's just like so weird.
So yeah, for those of you not interested in history,
Sorry.
get a grip. I mean,
yeah, it's the most important thing out there.
One of.
But that's a long list of things. So
I don't know how you can't be like, for people who aren't interested in history. I mean, it's just so interesting.
Yeah, and there's so much of it.
Yeah, there's so much of it.
Okay, yeah, I was reading about, or not reading, I was watching a thing about like the Ottoman Empire and how differently like it changed so much. And same thing with it, I'd compare it to the Roman Empire somewhat, especially their extent. They definitely grew pretty large, but one of the things is that like at some point they were the most feared empire in Europe. Like everyone was like, these guys are the top dogs. And then eventually they got so weak that they were being pushed around by England and France. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's such an interesting thing. How after a while the bigger they are, the harder they fall, really, and they eventually fall down to the point of non-existence, which is like all great empires.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was, but now I was thinking about like, I think modern borders, modern countries, they're set. Like that shit's never gonna change.
Yeah, bar nuclear annihilation. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, what's the likelihood of that happening?
I mean, kind of like not that high, like post Cold War era.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're right though. Like modern borders being set, there's a lot. Even though things like the UN don't necessarily function completely, with Russia taking over Crimea, there's still like international connectedness and sort of rigidity that keeps things from like that from happening.
Right. Yeah.
But obviously, in not always the case with constant strife and
Yeah, I mean there are like little shifts. Like there was a new country that declared independence like a few months ago somewhere in
Well,
Africa.
yeah, and then there's a border conflict between Armenia and
Yeah.
Azerbaijan right now, but like
Uh,
the likelihood of one country taking over the other is very small.
no, yeah, there won't be any annexation or like forced annexation. And
Like if
so,
that were to happen, the UN would probably step in.
yeah, the UN would 100% just like stop it, send in troops, anything. Basically, what happened during the collapse of Yugoslavia,
Yeah.
but to a lesser extent, considering how small those countries are.
Yeah. In other news, we are weeks closer to the release of Cyberpunk.
Yeah, exciting stuff. New games to play.
What I hate is that it's less than a month away. It comes out on the 19th of next month. But time moves simultaneously slow and fast for me right now, so it feels far away, but I know it's just around the corner. But the more days that pass, it's like shit, it's still like the 24th of October, which is today.
Yeah.
But that's exciting. I want to look at some other some November releases. I don't know if that's
I have felt the same way. October has sped by, but it's also like I don't know.
Yeah, I believe Assassin's Creed.
Oh, they're making a new one. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's the Valhalla.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Do you think that's gonna be good?
I heard Odyssey is good. My brother has told me Odyssey is good. So they've sort of taken the games in a different direction. They've made it basically an RPG.
Oh. Okay.
And yeah, it's probably gonna be good.
As opposed to like linear stories, like how they used to be.
Yeah, and they've like changed up the combat and whatnot. It's a lot different.
That's good. I'm glad they realized that shifting.
I guess another big thing to
genres
point
was
out
good,
is the fact that the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X is coming out.
Oh yeah, in
It's a big deal.
December, right?
November, I think.
Oh jeez.
Next month. Next month is a big month. I mean, November has always been a big month for games, which is kind of crazy
because it's
when you
like
think
right
about it.
before Black Friday and the holiday season.
Yeah, but it's sort of notorious November, the month of November.
Yeah. Are you actually, I know you're gonna get the PS5, but are you gonna get it on release?
I will probably give it like a month.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get it. I'm mostly giving it a month, just to wait for any titles that might be dropping to drop. Like,
Right.
I'm not sure when Spider-Man Miles Morales comes out.
I thought that's
It might be a launch title. I don't know.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, because I'm not gonna be buying Cyberpunk on there or anything like that.
No, I mean you have a PC.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You have this. You already have the best console. Well, not
Yeah,
the best
PC2.
gaming. Yeah, PC2.
I'm excited for the PlayStation 5 though, just because the consoles have really just upped it another level.
Yeah, PS5 with
Like,
their
they're
super SSDs or whatever.
They're not on the level of PCs. Obviously, they never will be because the PC is constantly changing because video cards and processors and shit comes out all the time. But to be on the level of an upper level like PC build is very exciting.
Yeah, and it's pre-built, all in one nice package.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
the PS5 is massive compared to the PS4.
It's huge. It's bigger than the Series X too. But it's always nice. It's always nice to have a console.
I don't like how they made the PS5 look though. I personally don't like the design.
I don't like the look either, but who cares?
Yeah, I guess. I probably am not gonna get one. Maybe like I bet next year though, at least like a slim or some shit. I'll probably
Honestly,
get that.
like, if I were you, I'd give it like 2 years for the price and let the price drop.
Yeah. Because I'm not,
You're not a big console guy, but
no, not anymore.
like,
Not since the war.
I know you'd enjoy like games like Spider-Man because you like the Dark Knight, or not the Dark Knight,
The
fucking
Arkham
Arkham games.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
They're making.
if I were to recommend it for you, like, you'd have to pick up Spider-Man and God of War.
Mm-hmm. No, I know those are the games I play, and Uncharted. And
Yeah, exactly. For me, like, the reason the PlayStation is a must pick up is just because of those games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just so good. The console exclusives are actually so good,
Yeah.
and then having the PlayStation is just it's great.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna have to eventually get it, just because of the fact that everyone will be like, "Oh, you gotta play fucking whatever games come out." Because I know
That's just gonna be me
Sony's-
telling you.
That's true. It is gonna be you telling me, and then also all of the internet is gonna be saying that. So then I'm just gonna feel like I'm
Yeah,
missing out.
those
It's
people
gonna
on
be
Reddit
fun.
who are just like, just discovered Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Why did nobody tell me this game is amazing? That's
like
always
our-
like a Reddit. That's always like a Reddit thing, and it's like, no, everybody told you it was going to be amazing.
Yeah, everyone knew, and it had already been discussed. But sure thing, pal.
Yeah, people have already played the
It's-
first Spider-Man game. Like,
It's everyone
doing?
else's fault that you live under a rock.
yeah, that's such a funny thing. I love it though.
Yeah.
Um,
Reddit moment. You know,
Reddit moment,
The picture of the guy going, "Oh, that's me. That's 100% me."
definitely.
Yeah.
You're the Reddit moment guy.
What else? There was something else I wanted to mention, but I've totally forgotten about it now.
I also had something to mention about the PlayStation. Fuck. Oh yeah, if I want to play like the 6 Persona game, I'm gonna need the PlayStation
Oh, yeah.
5.
Well, I don't know if the next one is going to be a PlayStation exclusive.
I don't know either, but I mean, I'd bet money that it would be.
Yeah, probably. But well, we'll have to wait and see. You should play the older Persona games. Get Persona 3.
I've heard that like before 3, it's a bit rough.
Yeah, they're probably not good. It's like playing.
Like, I've seen gameplay of 1 and 2. It's a little rough, and then 3. They don't let you control the rest of your like party,
Oh, that's stupid.
and it's like a turn-based combat game, so it's a little funky.
Huh. Well, it's like playing Sky. To play Morrowind. I tried that, and Morrowind it's just way too old.
Yeah.
But yeah, good fun video games. They're always good fun for the whole family.
Good stuff, man. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Other than video games, though, which are the only constant in a COVID world, like, it sucks with productions being pushed back, or
Mm-hmm.
they're going on, but the movies, you won't be able to see them soon. Like, Batman pushed back, what was it, into early 2022?
Yeah, that.
So, like,
is
it's
really
being
disappointing.
made, and it'll probably be finished, like, next year. Knowing I won't be able to see it until 2022. Bar, obviously, like a vaccine or anything like that, but it's too bad, really.
Yeah, it is. It is upsetting.
But the one constant, though, is video games. And then, of course, animation. If you're into that. Some people
Yeah.
don't like animation, but,
Animated stuff is always entertaining for me.
I like animation.
Yeah, there's
We've talked about it on episodes past of shows like Avatar, which can, appeal to a broader audience.
yeah,
You know,
that's
shows
true.
that can do that are always great.
I mean, I just sit and watch The Simpsons a lot in my spare time on Disney Plus. Simpin', yeah. What?
But I'm looking at this website because I had the video game release dates like pulled up. I didn't know this, but they're making a Lord of the Rings Gollum game.
They are?
Yeah, you're gonna play as Gollum.
What?
It says to be announced 2021.
What the? Why would you? You're joking.
No, I'm not. It's right here. The Lord of the Rings Gollum.
That's why would why would you want to play that?
I don't know, especially after the last two Lord of the Rings games, which were good, like Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor. Like you go from that to like, you know, the people whoever owns the Lord of the Rings property being like, all right, now we're gonna make a Gollum game.
Maybe
like
it'd
you
be
just
like
played as a ranger from Gondor, a badass, and you some sick sword play in these games, and now you're gonna play as Gollum. It's weird.
It is weird. Maybe it'll be like a sneaky game. You sneak around.
And yeah, kill people. That'd be cool.
Yeah, you sneak around and kill people. Is that what he does? That's not what he does.
He kills people.
Not all the time.
He eats raw fish.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I guess that makes him a real sneaky guy.
He makes fun of the fat hobbit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you've got a good point.
You saw the meme I sent, the Among Us meme, right?
Maybe.
It's a Lord of the Rings meme.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, I did see it. Yeah, that one was pretty.
We shouldn't talk about memes. We're at the 50-minute mark, so we can.
Yeah.
Do you want to call it?
We'll call it. Thanks, everyone. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah. Tune in next week
where we
for another edition live from
New York.
The Empty Heads
Saturday
podcast.
Night. Oh, dude, Mandalorian, October 30th. We forgot to talk about that.
Oh yeah,
exciting.
check that out in 6 days. Woo!
All right, see ya.
Bye.